Hush, little baby, don't say a word. Mama's gonna buy you a mockingbird. And if that mockingbird won't sing, Mama's gonna buy you a diamond ring.
During the summer, Rajan worked for his father's store. Every day he used to make the trek from his home across a narrow bridge, past an old wall, and to his father's jewelry store on his bicycle. And every day he would make the same trip back home from the store. Rajan really didn't mind working for his father. He was paid the same amount as the other employees in the store, and for a boy of 13 years, that was quite a bit of money. After Rajan was done with his work for the day, his father would stay in the store, usually for a couple more hours to captivate customers. Many times, Rajan had insisted his father let him work additional hours so that he could get paid more at the end of the week, and every time, he had been denied.
You get home now, before the woman on the bridge gets there,
his father always said. Rajan knew that his father only told him this to get him to obey directions. For many times he had crossed that bridge at night with his sister without ever seeing that woman. Regardless, Rajan dared not speak back to his father, and so Rajan did as he was told and left the store when his shift ended. One day, Rajan's father became suddenly very ill and thus was unable to work at the store that day. He told Rajan not to go into work because he wasn't going, but Rajan argued against his sick father. He claimed that he was a grown boy now and he was capable of running the store without the supervision of his father.
"One day I will have to run this store all by myself,"
he reminded. After a good deal of instances, Rajan's father, in his weakened state, grew tired of arguing and granted Rajan his request.
"Close the store exactly when your shift ends and come directly home, before the woman on the bridge gets there."
Rajan's father had said this before he left the house. As Rajan was getting on his bike to leave, his little sister came running out from inside the house and said, Rajan, I left my earrings on the counter at work. Please bring it back to me when you return."
"You forgetful girl,"
scolded Rajan.
"Yes, I will bring them back, but don't leave your valuables in the store like that again."
And with that, Rajan left home, travelled across the narrow bridge, past the old wall, and to his father's store. This would be his first time opening the store without his father here. Rajan felt proud. That day's business was fantastic. More customers walked through the door than any other day that he'd been there. How proud his father would be of him, Rajan thought. Running the family store, all by himself, and selling more than his father had been able to sell in a single day. Rajan was very pleased with his performance, so pleased in fact that he forgot to eat lunch and forgot his father's directions to close the store once his shift had ended. Rajan worked and he worked until finally the sun set and it was darkness outside. Rajan could not wait to get home and share how well he'd done with his father. He hurriedly grabbed the earrings that his sister had left behind and began pedaling home. Rajan went past the old well and started crossing the narrow bridge. Rajan made his way halfway across the bridge when he saw, at the end, the most beautiful woman that he had ever seen in his life, wearing an all-white dress. She was facing away from Rajan, but still her beauty was apparent to him. Finally, he arrived behind the woman. That was when Rajan noticed something very peculiar. He looked down at the woman's feet to find that it was twisted all the way around. She was facing away from him, yet her feet were facing towards him. Before Rajan was able to gasp in surprise, the woman turned herself around to face him. Not surprisingly, the woman's face was breathtakingly beautiful. As Rajan had expected, her eyes were blue and she had thick, long, straight black hair. She took one step closer. Her eyes locked directly onto his. She took another step, this time her expression turning into a faint yet noticeable smile. Quickly, she lashed her hand out and grabbed Rajan by the wrist. In a panic, Rajan's fingers snapped open, revealing the earrings that he was holding onto. Without warning, the woman shrieked loudly and released her grip on Rajan's wrist. She retreated 2 steps back and stared in rage at Rajan's sister's earrings. The woman then angrily licked her lips and gracefully threw herself over the bridge. Rajan quickly got on his bicycle and started pedaling rapidly home. He did notice, however, that he never heard a splash in the lake below after the woman jumped over. Ever since that day, Rajan made sure he always travels with his sister or with one of her earrings late at night.
Hush, little baby, don't say a word. Mama's gonna buy you a mockingbird.
Okay, this has been going on for long enough. I don't care if it's a prank or what the fuck it is. It just needs to stop. It's sick and I am so tired of it. It started about 3 weeks ago. Every couple of days, I would find a VHS tape in my mailbox. I didn't know what to think when I saw the first package. I hadn't ordered anything online and I sure as hell didn't expect to find an unlabeled tape in a blank cardboard box. Honestly, I threw it on my counter and forgot about it. Meaning to get rid of it later, but getting distracted with other stuff. And then the second one arrived. I just started to think this was more than just a case of mistaken address. One was an accident, two was something more. My curiosity got the better of me, and I dug out my old VHS from the bottom of my closet. I popped in the first tape, wondering what I was getting myself into and how much I would regret this decision. There was a dimly lit room, covered in dirt and grime. I think that whoever was filming was holding a flashlight. As the camera moved downward, the beam of the flashlight reflected off a bunch of objects on the floor. They were syringes. In the centre of the room, a girl was lying on the floor crying. Her sobs echoed throughout the room and seemed to penetrate through my TV, sounding like they were coming from the same room I was in. She was covered in syringes. Out of her arms, legs, torso, even her neck and face. My god, I even think they were in her eyes and mouth. The camera didn't move, or turn off. It just kept filming this poor girl, who couldn't have been older than 12 or 13, sob on the floor. Her crying stopped and she just started screaming. It was so loud and shrill and I instinctively covered my ears. After a solid 30 seconds, the camera left the room and went through a hallway. There had to be dozens of people standing near the edge of the flashlight's range, just like the little girl. Syringes stuck out of every part of their body. They all started screaming too, and then the tape cut off. I really should have stopped right there, threw out the tapes, forgot about it and moved on with my life. I'd work in the morning anyway, but the second tape drew me in. I grabbed it and hit play. The scene started off dark and I could hear a lot of shuffling in the background. This was clearly a home movie type of video. Suddenly, a light switched and flipped, and there was a sickly old man stumbling around in the empty room. "Please help me, please help me, please help me." He held his arms in front of his face and waved them in front of the camera. The picture quality wasn't great, but as I looked closer, I could tell there was something off about this guy. I saw these holes all over him. They peppered his arms and hands. They looked just like this. But every other man kept repeating, "Please help me, please help me, please help me." The holes all over his limbs were starting to creep me out. In a way that's hard to explain, they just made my skin crawl. What was worse, in that, as the video progressed, I could see that more and more holes were appearing on his body. They started to creep up his neck and under his chin. "Please help me, please help me, please help me." The tape stopped abruptly, and I just sat there for a second. Was this real, or just an edit and a makeup trick? Either way, it was freaky as hell. I was glad when the tape ended, and I'm not ashamed to admit it, but I slept with all the lights on in my house. A few days later, this sick freak mailed me another tape. I was hesitant at first, and I don't know what compelled me to do so, but I played the tape. This one opened with someone carrying a camera as they sprinted down a city street.
Holy shit, Matt, come on.
He yelled to his friend, who was barely visible as the frame streaked by. The two men ducked into an alley, and their laboured breaths overwhelmed the audio.
Oh my god, did you see that?
The first guy shakily aimed the camera at the street again, where I could see the mutilated shape run down the road. It looked kind of like a person, but the legs and arms were so long that it made it difficult for the thing to move. It just scrambled along, trying to stay upright as it moved. Suddenly, it stopped. In fact, it was much better quality than the rest of the video. The camera was sharp and focused, even though it was dark. But even stranger, the creature seemed to be the only thing that was in high def. Its eyes were bright and piercing, and spilling out of the mouth were rows and rows of teeth. It made eye contact with the camera and started silently sprinting towards it.
Shit.
The man tried to run, but the last thing I saw was the camera fall into the ground before the screen went blank. The last tape came 4 days later. I really didn't want to watch it, but at this point, I was in too deep to go back. This one opened with a wide view of the forest. The camera stayed still for so long that I thought the tape might have been broken. Then I saw something in the trees. Standing just in the shadows was a man. I couldn't make out the features from that far away, but I could tell there was nothing that seemed out of the ordinary. "Look at him." A woman's voice sounded monotone, almost robotic. "He can see you." The shot ended and another one came on screen. This time, the camera was in the woods, in an area where the foliage was pretty dense. It took a minute, but I found the man again. He was much closer this time, but I still couldn't see him clearly. The voice sounded more human this time, though not completely convincing. Almost like when someone calls you on a creepy phone, you can still tell who they are, but the voice is just a little bit wrong.
Look at him. He can see you.
Before this frame cut out, I could see the camera dart down to the side, like someone had been carrying it. It seemed weird that a person could stay still that long, filming the sky. What was the point? Now I was looking at the same forest, I think, but from an open second story window. The man had left the trees and was standing in the middle of the yard. He was looking right at the camera, but I still felt like I couldn't see him really.
Look at him. He can see you.
The camera did not cut away this time like it had before. Whoever was carrying it ran through the hallway and down the stairs. My heart raced as I half expected the man to pop into the frame, in every shadow, around every corner. I saw him pressed up against the sliding glass doors. There was no way he could have gotten there so fast.
Look at him. He can see you.
Without warning, the camera whipped around, and there he was, standing right in the middle of the fucking living room. How did he get there? Even though he couldn't be more than 5 feet from the camera, he was still fuzzy. He wasn't in focus, even though he should have been. This time, the voice was crystal clear.
Look at him. He can see you.
The tape ended, and I sat silently, completely rigid, for I don't know how long. I am done. I don't want to be sent any more tapes. I really don't care who is doing this, but please, for the love of God, just leave me the fuck alone. I won't go to the cops. Just please, please don't send me any more tapes.
Hush, little baby, don't say a word. Mama's gonna buy you a mockingbird. And if that mockingbird won't sing, Mama's gonna buy